Welcome back to Outside Today. Stephanie Pearson is part of the team that pulled together the 2012 Outside Travel Awards. Today we're talking about some of our perennial favorite adventure companies. So Stephanie, what makes a great tour operator?
Longevity, I think, has a lot to do with it. Whether you've stood the test of time, and your guides, your clients like you, your guides like you, and you do a good job in what you're doing, and also the way that people treat the environment and the way that they treat the people whose country they're visiting.
I think these tour companies can be really helpful for independent travelers as well because, all the details are taken care of for you. You don't have to worry about language barriers and, money and details and maps. You can just sign up for a trip and live that adventure of a lifetime.
And one of our adventures of a lifetime is a great trip that REI Adventures planned, right, to Machu Picchu?
Yeah, and this is the reason we put this on the list is because it's this double header. It's Machu Picchu and the Galapagos, and it's it's under $6,000, and so you can hit two major icons for that amount of money, which is great. And so you start in Peru and you go for a week and you raft the Urubamba River, and then you take a train up to Machu Picchu and then have a guided tour of Machu Picchu, and then fly out to the Galapagos and do this multi-sport kayaking, swimming, snorkeling with all those crazy animals out in the Galapagos.
Yeah, right. So you can see like blue-footed boobies and sea lions and all kinds of birds.
Right.
Yeah. And, what I love about REI too is that they're really stewards of their community too. So they really help support the locals that in the places that you visit.
So how important is that in the criteria when you're looking at these travel adventure companies? When you're talking about conservation and giving back to the local economy, does that play a role?
That's really important, especially as people travel more, just because we have more impact on the communities that we travel to. And so that's one of our primary criteria when we're putting this together.
Well, another member of Outside's Hall of Fame is right here in the U.S., Oars Float Trips, which started in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, George Wendt is actually the grandfather of Colorado River rafting. That was the first company. He and his wife started this company in 1969, and they were the first company to raft the Colorado River. So they've been there for more than 40 years, and it's just one of the best companies out there.
It's way more than rafting here. So like this trip in the Grand Canyon, for example, you're hiking to Native American ruins, you're camping on sandy beaches, and it's pretty amazing just to be able to float down the river and see this awesome perspective of the Grand Canyon.
Any other surprises in the Hall of Fame?
Well, we have this trip to Cuba that is exciting. Cuba's sort of on that bubble right now where either everyone's going to be able to go and everyone will go, or they're going to cut tourism off potentially. So Austin Lehman, another great company that has been in this industry for a long time, they have spent years putting together a new trip to Cuba, and they did all the permitting. So it's a 100% legal way to go to Cuba.
So even average Americans could go to Cuba through Austin Lehman?
Yes.
And that's like an educational type trip, or?
Yeah, it's educational, and you do a lot of history. You get a tour of Havana from the official historian of Havana, their office, and tours of plantations, and it's like arts and culture and just the classic Cuba that everybody
right.
I did not know that.
And go now before Starbucks and McDonald's invades.
Absolutely.
Right?
Well, Stephanie, thanks so much for coming in today and telling us about all these great tour operators.
Yeah, thank you.
You're watching Outside Today, exclusively on Outside Television, America's active lifestyle leader.